From Trad Grant. We're pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises. They will be another institution among hundreds of other properties owned across the country. Of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We'll send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes. We expect them to be followed impeccably. Okay. Like that. What the hell? Oh god. Can I just say, first off, this is bullcrap. Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under. They just swoop in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitive. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam. Emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you're reading this, Hillside Overlord, good. Lower the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're done, I'll review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month. Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated. To be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened. Okay, alright, so she's getting a cremation. What? You gotta be so... You're invited to attend a death cafe. Come increase awareness of death with a view to helping people make the most of their finite lives. Join us, have a tea and cake, and talk with others about our thoughts, fears, and illuminations on death. Oh, okay. So I was watching a series called Deathland, and I believe The Guardian is what did it on YouTube, and one of the episodes was featured a death cafe. So I actually know what this is. It was a 7-part series, and the person running the series, producing the series, has death anxiety, and so the one episode was a death cafe, one episode was visiting people who were terminally ill, another episode was someone who had a near-death experience. There was an episode on death meditation, which was just, it was a meditation to like help her with her anxiety, which was really interesting, to like visualize death and how it can be a calm, peaceful process. And one was dying young, and I think one was people who are like trying to make, there's a whole convention with people trying to make death not a thing. It's really interesting. I will link the playlist in a comment below. But yeah, Death Cafe, you just have people come and like talk about planning your death, talking about your thoughts and fears or your plans, like, and it's just all about actually talking about the thing that our cultures tell us isn't appropriate to talk about, and it's just creating the safe space to be talked about it. It was really interesting. Founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, when people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from the 1750s, the oldest in our collection. You can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Why? Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What the heck is an inguinal hernia? What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? Anyway, this event I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. It might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death positive people out there. Sounds like a safe space. What is a inguinal hernia? What is that? Oh. Oh, okay. That's like a normal... How's that different than a normal hernia? Oh, it's near the groin. Okay. Okay. Funeral rites. Even in our own culture, maybe something many of us may be unfamiliar with. For many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media, but I think it goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides different paths for dealing with death, but the goal is almost always the same, offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment usually begins immediately after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are also often involved and help the family make arrangements for the funeral service and burial. But not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years. What the heck? Many families began to cremate more often. There are also companies that compress remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. This also occurs in Northern America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in the graveyards and the expenses of cremation. Not all practices are somber either. Ever hear of the turning of the bones, or Famadihana? A ritual by the Malagasy people of Madagascar. Famadihana has families return to an ancestral crypt, exhume the bodies wrapped in cloth. Before dancing with the bodies to lively music, the practice is a celebration, remembrance, and a way of keeping the deceased involved in family news. Death can be a difficult time for many people, obviously, but that doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the ways we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Alright, cremation. Remove the watch. Place the tag. All set. Put the urn. I appreciate the urn being different each time. I just realized there are you comfortable with suicide question was as a player, if you didn't want to come in here and talk to more like talking to people who were affected by it. I think that's what that question, that was geared more toward the player than as a business practice thing. She was always so careful, wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention. You heard what's happening to the driver? No, I haven't wanted to ask. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all of this. Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves. Oh no. I have to go through all their things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep? If you need help, I can help. No, thanks I mean, but no, I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw the things we have. She was kind of a closed book, except to you. She was special. Oh, that's so hard. So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body. We don't really know what kind of state it was in either. I mean, looked fine, but I'm glad we're here. I just need a glass of wine to binge watch something right now. I feel that. Some days that's what I need. Should we do a vigil at the spot? Careless drivers, I swear to God. Aww. I have a friend who was hit by a car and, like, you know, they didn't die, but, they did go to the hospital. And it sucked. That's really careless drivers. That's really all I have to say. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work? Rules and code of conduct. I also really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry. And no, I will not say hangry ever. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while any promises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises. First and foremost, there's a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Secondly, most importantly to this is that no tattoos are to be visible. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell. Fuck you! Always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. No. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price. They're dead. You can buy the most expensive casket in the world. They're dead, and it's going in the ground, and it's gonna decompose. This is such bullshit. Food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase their premium sandwich and appetizer food package. I hate the death business capitalism bullshit so much. Oh, I hate it so much. It's like, you are dealing with enough. The person you loved is dead, and it's like, it's so friggin' low to nickel it, to make a money thing out of it. It's horrible. Our partner catering concepts provides high quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. Expect all the above changes. So, like, we had that one email earlier that said, you know, it was so nice to bring food in, and I didn't say it at the time, but I was surprised because I think a lot of funeral homes don't let you do that. And I wasn't thinking of it as being, like, there's probably sanitary reasons for that, but I wasn't thinking of it as actually being like a business practice thing. But the fact that these mom and pops are like, yeah, bring the food in, and then it was like this really nice family experience to like have this family dinner. Like, that can be a really meaningful thing. And here it's like, oh, you can have our defrosted, quote, high quality, unquote, sandwich package. Expect all the above changes to be instituted effectively immediately. No, fuck you, dude. I will follow your dress code. I will not upsell to any of your stupid jerk. Hello, Charlotte. My name is Charlie. Excuse me? I've reviewed your request on behalf of potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning. We do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. Yeah, and that's, you know, we got that newsletter of the green burials being cheaper, and like, there's places that legally don't allow green burials, and I'm sure that there's people with money pushing to not have green burials be legal so that capitalism. The reason that green burials aren't legal is because capitalism, corporations are lobbying for those laws so that they don't lose money. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though. So do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package. No! They want a green burial, I'm gonna tell them to go somewhere else. Fuck you, Chad. This is... You know what? This is getting on... So... We just played Edith Finch, and I said that I have existential depression, and one of those is death related. This game is hitting another factor of my existential depression, which is just bullshit like this. That there are people in this world that think in this predatory way, and that it's just bullshit like this in the world depresses me. It's like we should not be trying to take advantage of our fellow human beings. And the fact that people think this way and the fact that people think that it's fine is not okay. It's not okay. I wasn't expecting this game to hit me this way. Okay. Alright, Chad. Screw you, Chad. I entrust you and ensure we don't lose it. No! Fuck you, Chad. Fuck you, Chad. I'm proud to announce Hillside Heritage. Oh, God. I'm so mad at you, Chad. Received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us. I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. My name is Charlie. Chad. I would seriously respond and be like, hey, Chad, please refer to me as Charlie. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises has been paid a decent wage from the city for their services, cremation is preferred here as it's the most cost-efficient of the two options. The first unclaimed body we will be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body has yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed. Okay. Just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs, like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our end. There's part of me that's like, Jen brings so much levity and joy and love into my day, and then there's part of me that's like, Jen, I have other shit going on right now. I just noticed this tab is here. I don't know how long that's been there and I didn't notice. Oh, this is probably changed. Oh, I wish I had noticed this earlier, because this is probably changed. Gold funeral package. Give your loved one the best with the best we have. That's such... Best suited for groups over 100. Silver. Okay, so they're ranking these based on your gatherings. Based on how many people. Alright. That's a little weird. I'm used to packages. I mean, yes, people, but also like the casket. Decorations. All kinds of, this is just by people. Subject to additional fee. Yeah, I wonder what this said beforehand. Okay. The appeal of a home funeral is apparent for many, especially if the deceased was somebody very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they're ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting. Wasn't that long ago we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive, but isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Nobody looks alive when they've been embalmed. They look like a wax sculpture. Like, you have those TV shows where someone's faking being dead in a casket, and I'm like, how does anybody fall for this? Because when you've been embalmed, when you're dead, you don't look like you're alive. Being around the deceased, that was just a weird tangent to go off on, I'm sorry. Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members and friends to see the deceased one last time before they're taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased bodies at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. I thought you only had like a couple days. To be around your loved ones and see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, many other hidden costs and fees, can cost upwards of $7,000 to $10,000, which is ridiculous when your loved one just died. When you're able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given on what state you are in. That is very true. In all states, it's legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, and New York require a funeral director's involvement from signing the death certificate to overseeing the burial or cremation. Interesting. If this is the route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. Just know this may be an option available to you and your loved ones, if you so choose. That's right. Okay, I'm working on a body. Chad. Of course your name's Chad. Chad. I'm sorry to anybody watching who has the name Chad. Why Chad always gets cast as like the douche. The douchebag's always named Chad. Prepare this gentleman's body. He doesn't seem to have any valuables on him. Let's just worry about his identification tag. He'll get the cheapest urn in the house. Where do these go? Like, I know we're preparing these for the city for unclaimed bodies, but then where do they go? Who gets the urn? It actually goes to into the funeral parlor? Like, there shouldn't be anyone, right? Oh, that's so sad. We're like the only person here to pay our respects to this gentleman. Oh. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit. It's like someone should be here. And be sad that this person is no longer here. I'm sure they have people somewhere that care about them, or had people at some point in their life that cared about them. And they should be missed. Really pull up a chair. Tell me about your life. guess he got some flowers. What's Chad got for us now? Okay, Chad. Hello all, we're thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises subsidiary Rose and Daughters just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. This will no doubt be a boon. Okay. Alright. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose the sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly fuck you, Chad. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. It's not part of my job, Chad. That's just what you decided. Dear Mr. Grant, regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, I don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off. Dear Mr. Dimka, I understand your desire to keep your wife at home. I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package. Instead, I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. They can see her at home as well. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Dear Mr. Grant, okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. That wasn't a terrible upsell. I do get... I just want to make sure she's taken care of. I don't know what to do. I want to make sure she has a proper send-off. It's like, if you were certain that that's what you wanted, he does sound like he's not sure. The argument of, hey, we'll take care of the food, you don't have to worry about that, isn't a bad argument. But still, you're a dick. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101. My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself, but you I'm worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. Good for you. Put in that 2 weeks. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. Consider giving a like or leaving a comment. The YouTube algorithm favors engagement, so doing one or both of those things really helps the channel. There's social media links in the description and a link to my tip jar if you're interested in helping out that way. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the next one.